Now this is just one plant. There's so many. What does the mother do? What does our mother do when we, or what do we do to our children or our grandchildren when they get a cut? They want band-aids. They would put them on there and kiss them. You know, a lot of that tender, loving care is there, but that's what our mother is, eh? If our land is our mother, she provides those things that will heal us. Now this is sage. It's used extensively, but there's many, many more plants that are given to us. Do you think Maslow knew this? This is Ninastako. It's in Montana. And you see, it's so, you know, you can't miss it. And if this mountain could speak, what are the stories he could tell? Well, the stories are in those offerings there. There's a sweat lodge there. And the story about this mountain is this is where thunder came from. Those aspects of the environment that can harm us, we need to have a relationship with them. Ex-nanists. Well, we have to make treaty with them. Okay. Thunder stole a man's wife, and thunder took this woman to his home. And this man got an offer from a crow, and the crow said, I can help you. I can help you get your wife back. And the crow in Crow's Nest Mountain comes into play. It's a storied landscape. And the crow said, I'll help you. Just give me this and that as payment. So the crow approached Xistziko, thunder. Give the man's wife back. And thunder said, you're just a small bird. I'll show you. And he started making this, you know, thunder and lightning was going off. Who the heck are you? And the crow said, okay, I'm going to ask you again. Give the man's wife back. He did the same thing again to show his power. What he didn't know was Crow had gone up and befriended Esther, the cold weather maker. Mm-hmm. All right, if you're not going to do that, then I'll fix you. And cold weather came down and subdued thunder. And when thunder could not defeat, couldn't show his power anymore, he gave the woman back. But he apologized and made amends. For doing something I should have not done, I'm going to give you this pipe. And you're going to open it after the first sound of thunder. I mean, it's a story, but in the story is information about respecting the elements. Elements that can hurt us, especially the cold weather. For winter's coming, We measure our years. How many winters are you? What it's saying is how many winters have you accomplished? If you can survive this winter, you did the things you needed to do. That's why our age is measured in winters. And it's not back then, it still applies today. Even with the kind of technology we have, many people are not going to make it through winter. This is a class that I taught, Dr. Chambers and I, and this is at Sunda. Jack Ives is here, Dr. Ives is here from anthropology. He was there as our guest. And Oktasawato, we visit these sites like you would visit an elder. They're not sites that we would tour. And the person on the right is Stella Tallman. And she is one of our ceremonialists. And if you think Maslow was intimidated when he first came out here, Dr. Chambers and I were more intimidated to have her as one of our students, She added so much to the class that we had. But when we go to these sites, it's more important that you visit the site. How do you visit? Well, you make amends, you make offerings. But more importantly is we ask the students, visit with each other. If you want to be alone, there's things that come out that evoke wherever you're at these sites, and this has been going on. So Oxusawat, we've been to these sites many times, but the whole notion of visiting, visiting Oxusawat, visiting is an impoverished translation of this Blackfoot word, because visiting is looked down upon as a negative. If you're working at an office, oh, they're just visiting. We don't take time to visit. In the visiting, it's very intimate. That's where knowledge is exchanged. And it's very nurturing. And I'm not talking about gossip. Dr. Sawat, this research that Ryan and I did, this is my granddaughter. And yes, it is very personal. And yes, I'm very biased, So I want to say that at this institution, that being objective sometimes gets in the way if that's all you ever do. These places are very special because it's not about me going alone. It's always in the context of who you are there with and what time of the year you're there. And one of the things that we've learned that we're doing this year in that regard is we're teaching over the whole year, not over the semester, but over the whole year, so that we can do things seasonally. And one of the things that I really enjoyed, we were just at Dinosaur Provincial Park last Sunday, and we went to Napi in his full glory. Some of the students have children, and we just tell them, don't let babysitting issues get in the way of taking this class. Bring them, bring family. And to have those children running around just adds so much. That's my granddaughter that I took a picture of, and it was such a nice day. Anytime I can be out there with my grandchildren at these sites is worth it. That is such a beautiful place. And this is where we traded with the Kootenai when they come over the mountains. There was a lot of exchange. This is a special place. Who is going to, if, in that paper that we did, it's called, or that movie that we did, it's called Gidoch. And under there, if the land could speak and we would listen, is the second part of that title. What is the language of the territory? Wow. You don't have to be a rocket dentist. I had to throw that in. You don't have to be a rocket dentist to know that the language of the land is Blackfoot. When we ask somebody to translate, our older kid, and I've done that, they would say, I don't know the English language, but you become my ear. You listen, and I'll tell you what to say, and you translate that to English. Well, at these sites, our elders are the translators of the knowledge that's there. That's what this word means. And yes, it is very personal. I climbed this 3 years ago. And I climbed the West Butte of Katoyist. It's mistranslated to Sweet Grass. It's in Montana. 3 buttes are part of writing on stone. It's supposed to be translated properly. It's Sweet Pines. But I just want to call it Katoyist. This is the West Butte. And you shouldn't climb there when you're not in too good a shape, a little overweight. And you should not climb it in August. I did it. I made it. And I am cramping so badly. All I had in me to be able to smile for the camera.